a wonderful federal judge. And when that clerkship was over, instead of going with bigger and biggest law firm, John came a few blocks across town and joined the biracial law firm headed by Julius Chambers, the part of the post office at that time. Mr. Chisholm has been there. I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that, what he saw, why he decided he couldn't take any more. And I think what I hope we can either hear or infer is why in so many venues, good people, white and black, didn't step out, couldn't step out.
But you do want to put a particular individual in it. So you detail that person to that position.
Somebody goes on vacation for 3 weeks, yeah. They detail him in, and then they get the experience, and then when the promotion comes up, guess who gets the job?
Not only that, the person who made the detail had to be approved by the next superior, and both are the same people who make the decision for the promotion. So you see what was taking place. Yeah. Well, that just didn't seem right. And I came back from service in 1960. And I was looking at this and looking at it, talking to people, but nothing was being done. And I was quietly developing because every week they would put on the bulletin board how many positions were up, who was promoted, and I would take it off the bulletin board and copy it. So later, I had compiled these statistics for around 12 years. In order, date by date, time and place, who got the position. After doing this for 12 years, I decided then that, the human side, you really don't like, who likes to sue the people you're working for? So that's not what I'm after. I want to know, why is this taking place? Is this what I'm supposed to expect? Is this what's going to be in the future? And what is there to be done about it? So I requested a letter to see the postmaster because I didn't feel like he really knew what was going on, or did he know? Because it's the personnel officer that is doing this. Minutes of this time to discuss what I thought was not so good a situation in the post office. I got a letter back informing me that no such meeting would be allowed. So, what other recourse do you have? And said that I was doing discriminated against. I should have the position. But I kept asking for relief for all minority employees. And he wouldn't deal with it. So consequently, I didn't accept his decision and went to Julius Chambers to tell him what my problem was. And we filed the court case. And that's when I met the individual who saved me from disaster. At one point, that case cost $320 an hour. And this is in 1970 something. So you can see what could have taken place. I lost. So that's where we were at the time. Now, the human side, there's a lot that happened to me. I don't know if you can put yourself somewhat as best possible in my shoes at that time. You can understand what I felt. Well, I don't know. From the human side, let me put it that way. And talking about Julius Chambers, after he took my administrative file and he read it, and I came back, I had to sit down with him, and he said, well, we are looking at your case, I wanted a lawyer. And I was trying my very best to make sure I had a lawyer, so I didn't want him to think I was begging. I had some money, and I wanted to write him a check to make sure I had retained a lawyer. He said, well, Mr. Chisholm, we'll talk about that later. I said, no, I got up on the edge of my seat. I had my checkbook. He said, we'll talk about that later. So I said, well, why can't I pay you now? He said, well, I'll tell you what. Do you know what a ream of paper is? I said, ream of paper? You mean one of them? I said, yeah, one of them. He said, well, based on what I'm reading here, I estimate that it would take around $750 to $1,500 worth of paper just to put this case on. Well, at that time, I just saw all my money go out the drain. All I had was paper. I didn't have no words written on it. And I was one very, very down individual coming out of that office. Fortunately, at the time, though, I was riding around with my ice chest in the trunk of my car. So I had gin. I sit in this parking lot, I don't know how long after that conversation. And I went back home, and I was married at the time, but I didn't tell my wife what I was doing, even in documenting the case for that number of years, because she goes to the beauty parlor. I didn't want anybody else to know what I was doing, because I wasn't going to file this complaint. She listened to me, and she said, well, I don't have much money, but I do have a house. Now, she's fixing to put up her house. And I get emotional when I think about that. Anyway, we didn't have to do that. And I was drilled, just because you're black, why do you think you should have this position? And they're almost asking me to define discrimination, which is very difficult to do. So anyway, I went through a battle, and the more they queried me, the more I realized I did not know what I was talking about. So by the time they got through, I was down. At the very end, he said, well, Mr. Chisholm, from now on, you will be discussing this with Mr. Jonathan Wallace. And I went over to Mr. Jonathan Wallace. He told me to write him a check for $1. Hell yeah. So that's what happened at that point. And
Mr. Chisholm, if I could add a friendly amendment, it's nice to think about Don Quixote and getting on the horse and grabbing the petard and going forward. But in fact, there are bills that have to be paid to court reporters and court fees and people who answer the phones and paralegals. And that was always a problem at the Chambers firm. We really did win pretty close to all the cases. And when we'd win, we typically would get attorney fees from the other side. But that meant there were long periods when there was little, if any, income coming in.
So that's what the case came about, and you can see what the problem was. But when Jonathan finished with the case, and the way he set the judgment and the relief requested, he did it in not just a number of people. He did it uniquely in very different levels and required at least a 30% minority in every various different levels, like initial level, let's say 7 to 11, 30% specified from 11 to 14, 15, etc. Not just 30% in a total force, because you could have put 30% at all entry levels and would have penalized people who should have been at a higher level. So consequently, when he finished, we still had 150 some supervisors, but almost 130 of them were black, or minorities, we put it that way. And in the human side, talking with Chambers, he looked at the case, and there was no female supervisors. So that was another case. So it might have been a better case because of your numbers, as well as the degree function. But he simply said, let's handle the one case first, and out of that, the relief would be granted to them too. So it helped all females, period, black and white, and it helped the minority. So he still had 150 supervisors, but like I said, around 137 of them were minorities when we finished. Jonathan got up and was shaking Judge McMillan's hand and was talking with him. I didn't know whether I should do that or not. I was blaming. So after that, I asked Jonathan, was I supposed to thank Judge McMillan, or was I shaking his hand? He said, sure, you thank him. I thank him most graciously when I won. So if you've been to the Charlotte Post Office on that vicinity, you can see the building and the doors going down Mint Street. You got the mainframe on Trade, side doors going down Mint. Well, the back entrance where the doors, where most of them come out of the office. He was coming out of the back door, of that side door, and we were unloading, and we were loading on the side street, and I happened to see him. And I called, and I ran down to him, and he stopped. And I told him that I didn't know the court protocol as to whether I could have shaken his hand or not. He said, well, sure, all right. So he put his briefcase down, and he stopped to talk with me. And out of that case is one thing that made a lot of sense to me. But you have to understand the times at that time. He said, if you don't remember anything else, I want you to always remember that it does not take a demonstration in the street. Use what the law has provided for you.
It was really nice, Big John, to help Mr. Chisholm with this case.
Well, that's true. And to answer the other part, you asked what happened afterwards. What happened was, part of the judgment was that every black employee who was in the class would have the right to go and go to what's called stage 2, which means you'd have a special master appointed, somebody appointed to hear those cases and decide whether that person individually had been discriminated against. Now, we could have done that, and it would have taken, we might still be doing that if we had done that, because there were, hundreds of people, and we would have, and of course, what I've learned in my law practice is, yeah, there's a lawsuit that can go on, but these people want relief now.
Yeah.
So we negotiated a settlement with the Postal Service, and they made a substantial pool of money available, and we divided that among all the black employees, as I recall, based on their tenure. You know, you got a point for every year you work for the Postal Service. Maybe, I can't remember if it was every month or every year. And then we took all that number of months and years, and we divided it into the pot, and so each year was worth X amount of money, and then they got their checks. and right away, or within a reasonable period of time. And then, as Napoleon said, the judgment said that for each level of supervisors, they had to for the next 10 level 15s or level 18s, they had to hire at least 30% black. And over time, that meant a lot of people not only got promotions and higher wages, but that really is where your retirement comes from. If you're in the civil service, if you're at big level, you get a whole lot more retirement than if you're at the lower level.